Hi everybody, I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Thank you all who joined me on the YouTube live, and I'm sorry if you guys were there. Nobody told me that the echo was on my mic. I was playing with the echo and didn't realize I left it on. It is off. If it is on, I don't know. I tested this a million times. Other thing I want to address, is that there was no sound, or the sound was low on some of my videos, and that's because I didn't have the plug in the mic all the way. So I have it down hopefully now. Thank you all who came to the live. I will be doing lives either weekly or bi-weekly. I'm playing with it, but just follow me, Adele Levine, on Instagram to know, and I will notify I did live readings. And if you want to check that out, you can check that out, and I would hit live chat so you can see the responses that people gave while I was reading them, so that you can see the confirmations. All right, so today's subject, wow, I feel like I should do a drum roll, because this has been asked of it from me or to me or whatever for quite some time, and this is about reincarnation. Well, reincarnation and how I see it is kind of more appropriate, and I just want to say that because I'm sure I'm going to get so many comments or emails not agreeing or giving me things that can prove, like I know about the books. I even read Many Lives, Many Masters when I was looking into this, because I really have never been drawn to the idea of reincarnation. That's pause. So yes, that's to say that I'm not a believer in reincarnation in the traditional sense. So I will explain what that means with my flamingo mug of water. So I know that this is kind of a touchy subject because so many opinions, so many beliefs, so many experiences, and I'm here to say, of course, I respect everyone's belief and everyone's opinions, but I will say to you that I'm probably not going to get swayed on my belief, because you have to understand, the medium side of me, it just doesn't resonate. And I'm going to encourage you to take what I'm about to say to you and how I see it, and, consider it, not consider it. But remember, this is what I've come to understand thus far in the 15 years of reading, and even just kind of as, my own personal journey. It just doesn't resonate for me in the traditional sense. So let me tell you why. Okay, so from what I've been shown from the other realm, you have to remember, the only book I ever read on this was Many Lives, Many Masters, and that's because someone insisted that I be convinced that reincarnation, was real if I listened to this. It's not that I'm saying it's not real. It's just not the way I've been seen or I've been shown from that realm. So it just doesn't resonate. So I'm not sitting here telling everybody like, oh, what you believe in, isn't like real. I'm trying to like move hair out of my ears. And sorry for the air, but it is LA and it's hot, so you'll hear the air on a lot this summer. What I've heard from that realm, and now that the mic I know is working, you might have heard me burp, and I apologize. What I've heard from that realm, keeping it real, people, is that when we pass, okay, so let me give you an example. This is what I've been shown. There are many dimensions, there are many planes that exist. This isn't the only one. And this is the one that, from what I've been shown, is the most challenging, it's the most difficult, because it's limited in the material plane, meaning like the material world, our bodies, and the fact that we have, brick and mortar type of world, that this is one of the hardest ones. This is the most challenging one to us because we are limited in seeing the other realm. And so there are other dimensions, and there are other worlds, and there are other realms. And secondly, when we pass, we still grow and we still evolve. People think that this is the only place you can grow and learn lessons. It really isn't. When you pass, you are still able to come to higher consciousness. So for instance, when I do readings, medium readings, and a spirit talks to me, about their life, they will say, this is how I was when I was alive. I have definitely changed since this time. I'm they are not all knowing, they don't know everything, they don't become gods and goddesses and angels, but the veil, and I've covered this on what happens to us after we die videos, the veil is lifted and they're able to see the realm with that, without the blockage, right? You know, without the limitation. And so it's up to you how much you want to grow and how much you want to evolve. It's really up to you. And so, because of that, this isn't the only realm that you need to learn lessons from. It is the hardest challenge, I will say that, because, for instance, in that realm where you're pure energy, obviously all you need to do is focus on higher consciousness and growing, and you're not having to get up and like go to work and, you know, go pay bills and get, you know, bogged down by life, right? All you're doing is being able to have this focus. Now, a lot of people want to recreate that here, meaning like, oh, I'm going to go sit on a mountaintop, or I'm going to go sit in silence, or I'm going to just be in complete and utter, you know, removal from the mainstream, quote unquote, right? But that realm has shown me that being of both worlds is important. Being the human self and being of the spirit self, because it challenges you. Having the limitation and still willing to grow and love and have compassion and empathy is the point. Okay, so you pass. And let's say you did the best you can. Let's say you didn't do the best you can. And now you're in this other realm where everything's been lifted and you're remembering home, what I call home. I just haven't seen that it's necessary to come into this physical body. Maybe to me, I guess, and I'm just kind of deciding this right now, that the best way to describe it is reincarnation to me is that realm. You reincarnated into a new version of yourself. And it's because when you, and I covered this in other videos, but because it's that when you're born and you're a new spirit and you're come into this realm, and I cover this in what happens to us when we die. I begin the first video about what is it like to be born. And so when you're born into this realm, you're of this kind of pure light energy. And before you come here, you're like, okay, I know I'm going to forget, and I know I'm going to be in a much more difficult realm, but I'm willing to take this challenge on, right? Okay, so you come into this realm and you take this challenge on. It changes you, because you were kind of, I guess, an innocent in a way, and it was easier to kind of grow and evolve in this realm as a soul that hasn't been born. And then you come here and it changes you, and that's a change and an evolvement here. And then when you pass, you go into this other realm now as a changed spirit of experiencing the duality of pure spirit, and now what it's like to walk in these avatar bodies and to live this world. Now you're a combination of both, but you need to still evolve with the knowledge, because you were asleep and you forgot about home when you were here. So there's still a lot of work to do, and it's not necessary, this is from what I've been shown, to do it here. Okay, so the other reason, I'm going to give you two other reasons why it just hasn't resonated with me. Actually three. And the third reason is there's, you know, when I read and I do medium readings and someone tells me who they want to talk to, and I say, who do you want to talk to? I'll talk to that person, and I connect to that person. I've never had it where someone's just like not able to be talked to, like, oh, they reincarnated, so they're not here. So what I've come to understand, or all I sort of can understand, is that because I'm a person who believes in kind of in the idea of quantum energy, different dimensions, different doorways, different realms, quantum energy, and the idea of multiple planes and multiple timelines, that maybe it is the person that, you know, is their consciousness that I'm speaking. You know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they did come into a body. I'm only telling you what I've come to understand, and I always want to make that clear. This is how I've come to understand, and this is what resonates with me in my heart, what I'm sharing with you. I offer you up, and I'm just going to say that over and over again, to take a little bit of what I'm saying and maybe what other people say and what resonates with you. But this is what resonates with me. And so I've never had that experience. Maybe I am connecting to this, to the multiple persons that are existing. But it doesn't, it's not from what I've seen feel like there's an empty void of a spirit. It's never happened to me, and it just doesn't resonate, and it's not how I've seen it. The second thing is that I do readings sometimes, medium readings. Sometimes I do readings. I do medium readings where I'll talk to the same person multiple times. I have done that for people who want to kind of either learn how to talk to someone who's passed, or people who want to talk to someone who has passed again. And there's been times where I've talked to someone so often that I almost forget I've never met them in life. They've taken me through their whole life. They took me to the house that they grew up in. They took me to show me their family, show me what they look like, or acted like, I should say, as well, when they were younger. And I feel like I know them. I know their personality. I can feel them. I can sense them. And I forget, sometimes I never met them in life. And so let me just hold that thought right there, okay? So let's say you're a new spirit and you haven't been born, and someone, like, let's say I pass and I meet you in that realm, and I say to you, do you want to take a trip through my life? And you're like, sure, that would be interesting. And we go through my life, and because it's like living in VR times 100, where you are feeling and seeing everything like you actually had lived my life. And let's say here, this is me pausing to check the mic. Okay. As I plugged it in. I'll never spell the mic. And let's say you go through my life, and awesome, right when I said, let me check the mic, it shut down. So this will be probably edited together. So let's say we decided to just shut me down right when I checked the mic. I had a sense of something off. Anyway, something coming. And you go through my life, and you visit through my life, and you can feel like you've lived it times a million. Like I said, it's like VR times a million. And then you're born. And then you come and you meet, my family. And all of a sudden you're like in the place that I grew up in, and you're kind of hanging out in my stomping grounds. And you feel like you're really familiar with this place. That happens because we can know each other in that realm. And you can meet people who have passed, and you can even feel like you don't know, but maybe the person who passed, you're going through their life, maybe there's a reason that they're saying, look, I want to help you when you get born. I want to help you. And so we're going to make this connection now, so you'll know it's me helping you, and I'll send you signs, and you'll get familiar. That's the other reason. That's the other thing that I've seen quite a bit. And like I said, it's what I've seen when I've done multiple readings times a million. The third thing that I've been shown is that because spirits can talk to you, and they can put telepathic influence into your mind, and they can, meaning like they can talk to you, and there's spirits that are trying to help you. And because it's a collective whole, and if you need to understand this, go back to my What Happens to Us When We Die, part 1 and part 2. The collective whole, the collective conscious is working together to help you in your life. So because of that collective conscious and that collective whole, there are energies that will be even talking to you and help guiding you and trying to help you with your life. And you feel really drawn to a certain area, and you feel really drawn to certain artwork. Let's say you're doing art, let's say you're doing writing, let's say you're becoming a doctor, and you feel drawn to certain people. And maybe you feel like, oh, maybe in a past life I knew them. But you did know them in a past life, just in a different way. It was your life before here. And that's how I see it. And honestly, this video is going to be kind of quick. One, because I'm afraid I'm going to keep getting cut off for some reason. But mostly also because this is really the 3 reasons. This is really all I have to say about it. These 3 reasons are very poignant to me. I never have not been able to connect to someone very clearly. I know that you can have a connection with spirit you haven't known. Sorry, that's just noise. And you feel like you know them. And thirdly, there is energies that you've connected to before you were even born, and for some reason you feel drawn to them, or you feel drawn to that era, or you feel drawn to that type of music or whatnot. And there's also ones that are continuously happening in all of us. Now, I don't want to make this sound like everyone's like, oh, that's why I've always been drawn to Marilyn Monroe or something, and turn it into that. I'm sorry, I don't know what that noise is. Apologize. But it's not really about that. It's really kind of more about that there's, well, I know what the noise is and what people think. It's not spiritual. It's just people upstairs. Yeah, so I don't want you to feel like, okay, that's why I was always drawn to Marilyn Monroe. That must be why, all that kind of stuff. I want you to kind of more see it as that energies are working together in unison. Kind of like how the video just popped off right when I looked at my mic. It was like a funny little thing. Like let's do fun things with Adela. So it's not like necessarily like that's why you may be drawn to a certain person who passed, and maybe they're famous and you got drawn to them as past. It's a collective whole. It's something in the collective whole trying to help you, and maybe they're like using those type of things to kind of help guide you. So let's say you are drawn to Marilyn Monroe, and there's some thing that you've gone to in your life that resonates, and maybe it's something that's trying to help guide you on your right path, maybe help you heal. But people get focused on the person per se. Sometimes the spirit realm will use somebody, imagery, because they know, and not just the spirit realm, but guides. And I've covered this, and I'm going to do a whole video on guides. And the collective conscious and whole will use an image that they think you like, that you resonate with, and they'll use it as a way to get your attention and to get you to hear them and get you to be guided. So people always get focused on the who and who they are, where they're from, and all that stuff. There is no bodies in the other realm. There is no limitation in age. There is no limitation in imagery, obviously. There's no need to have names. There's no language. There's no time. There's no space. It is pure energy. They can transform into any energy they want, and they can use that. And I think I might have said this before, but if you watch the movie What Dreams May Come, there's some scenes in there that really resonate, except for the hell scene, with how I've seen how that realm works. So that's kind of why it just doesn't, when people get very fixated on all those things, it's more about the message and more about the guidance than it is about the person. And so if you're getting drawn to a certain area and you feel like familiar, maybe look at why. What is it trying to help you? Is it trying to guide you a certain place? Is there a certain place you're supposed to move to? Is there a certain place, a certain career you're being drawn to? Is there a certain energy? Because it's a collective consciousness that we don't work with here very well, because we work as individuals and we create separatism, and separatism is how this realm tends to operate in, and the other realm does not. So I know this is going to bring up a lot of questions, and I know people are going to say comments like, oh, but there's like this video or this like book on this little kid who like knew a bunch of information. Well, yeah, they could also, to me, be listening to a certain energy that have passed and be getting all this information. And when you're so much feeling it and seeing it, it could feel like you're even there, to me. And that's how I see it. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking today. That's how I see it. And that's just how it resonates to me. It doesn't resonate to me that we need to recycle, like I go from a cup to a fork. It just doesn't resonate. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's my take on it. Oh, now I'm going to be like Dylan on our podcast, coughing. Sorry about that. So I feel like you should investigate all these things, and you can go with what makes sense. But you have to realize, in that realm period, you got to take out the limitations we have in this realm. There's no need that it has to be limited to one form of living, one form of learning, one form of evolving. there is so much broader to me, then I guess that's why it doesn't make sense. And I've said this before, what I've seen is this large puzzle, what I've been shown, and I'm looking at a corner, and the corner just gets a little bit by inch bigger, and I have a long way to go, as we all do, to even understand all this. And so I just feel like I couldn't ever make a for sure statement and say, oh, this is how many lives, or this is what happens, or this is what doesn't happen. I can only explain what has resonated, and where I'm heading towards. And it's a journey. And so far, this is how it's been shown to me, and this is what resonates. I know I've said that lots, and I'm going to hear people like, she said resonate a lot. I know, but I'm just trying to restate this because I really want you to do this for yourself too. I want you to honor yourself and your heart. So that's really all I have to say on reincarnation. I'm happy to hear comments. I always answer them back as quickly as I can because I like hearing back from you guys. If I need to do another video on it, I really don't think, because this is pretty simple and to the point. I just want to say thank you for all the support. Because of all the support, I am able to do lives, and so I'm looking forward to doing more live readings for you guys and answering live questions. Me and Dylan, in case it is sold out, people who are coming to our class tomorrow at the Mystic Museum, it's sold out, and those who are coming, I can't wait to see you guys, and it's going to be kind of awesome. Catch me and Dylan on The Witch and the Medium. You can follow me, Adele Levine, on Instagram, and my website, adelelevine.com. For those who ask about readings, you can check me out on there. And I think that information's in the description. Thank you guys so much. I hope that makes sense. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen inside yourself, follow that gut. Spiritual leaders, we're only here to open things up in you and take that key and unlock it. See you guys soon.